Hello. I decided to do another one of these chronic illness warrior videos. I try to do them at least once a week. I probably should have did one a few days ago, but I've been really sick and just not feeling motivated or inspired or anything. It's been really tough lately. You know, as a chronically ill person, we go through these flares or stretches where we're just sick of everything. We're physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually sick. And yeah, it's just all that. You know what I'm talking about. That's how I've been lately. My soul needs a recharge, and I'm having trouble figuring out how to spark that. And this episode, I basically wanted to talk about basically not taking things for granted, that type of thing. There's a few things I'll talk about, but it started earlier today. I was waiting in the truck outside of the grocery store. I'm an agoraphobic, so I haven't been inside of a grocery store in I was in there once 2 years ago, and then prior to that it had been 4 or 5 years. So basically I've been in there once or 2 times in the last 7 years in a grocery store. Grocery stores and doctors' offices, hospitals, stuff like that, those are the hardest places for me to go as an agoraphobic. I've been doing some exposure therapy, and I'm able to withstand going to the mall for a little bit. About a half hour to 45 minutes is the longest stretch that I've done so far. I can't go out to eat either. I haven't been able to do that for several years. I think it's been about since 2018. I think, yeah, so it's been more than a couple years. It's been like 5-6 years. So I can handle them all. Obviously I go to the doctor and the hospital all the time for my illness. Not sure what's going on with my hair here, but whatever. There's a lot of places I would like to go. I would like to start going to the theater again. I love going to movies. I like to sit in the very back row in the center. It's my favorite spot. I like when it's a quiet theater, not a filled theater, but not completely empty either. I like a few people in there enjoying the movie with me. Let's see. I absolutely would love to go out to eat and go out on dates and stuff like that. And anyways, back to my point. I was sitting in the truck waiting. My caregiver was inside getting the groceries, and I was looking through the windows of the grocery store, and I could see my daughter, my third oldest daughter. She's a senior this year. I could see her working at her till, and there she's a cashier. She does all kinds of stuff there. She's been working there for several years already, but I've never actually gotten to go in while she's working and just be like, hey, you know, give her a hug or nothing like that. But I was watching her, and it made me really sad that I crave that normalcy so bad, to be able to go into movie theaters and restaurants and grocery stores and things like that. And I am working towards it, and I know that one day it's gonna happen. It's just a really, really slow, it's a really slow journey, because if I do it too fast, I could set myself back a bunch, and I don't want to do that, because just 2.5-3 years ago, I wasn't going in any place. I wasn't going to the doctor. I wasn't doing anything. I was hardly leaving my house. A lot of times I'm hardly leaving my bedroom, because that's my safe spot, my safe zone. So I have made a lot of I can't even think of the word. I'm having brain fog so bad. I've made a lot of headway with the agoraphobia, and I'm gonna keep doing the exposure therapy and keep fighting it because I'm trying to take my life back and my mind. I'm trying to get it all back. But yeah, it's a long, slow process, and I'm not that patient. But I was looking through the windows and I seen my daughter, and it made me really sad. I just wanted to go in there, you know, like a normal person and push a cart around and shop for groceries. And I thought at the same time too that if she's seen me in there, she would be really proud of me. So it's sad I didn't get to go in today, but it's definitely something that could motivate me too, so I'm gonna use it as that. It's been an emotional day. I've been really emotional and triggered today by a lot of stuff. I watched all these people come in and out of the grocery store, and they were just so, like, kind of like zombies. Like, they weren't, you know, they were kind of upset or pissed off that they were there in the first place, that they had to go grocery shopping, and there's me out in the truck, and I'm just like, you people don't realize how lucky you are to just be able to go and do these kinds of things, to drive a vehicle, to go out on dates, to go out to eat to a restaurant, to go to your favorite movie that you've been waiting to see, to go to a swimming pool, to go to a carnival, a concert, any of these things. I don't get to do these things. I do have faith that one day I'm gonna be able to do these things. It's just I'm very impatient, and I just wish that I could wake up tomorrow and snap and my brain would just go back to normal and I wouldn't be afraid of everything. My body could tolerate things again. One of the main reasons I became agoraphobic is because, well, there's two things. Sorry, this is an emotional video for me. You know, I have good and bad days. I'm human. And you know what that's like. I'm sure you have your good and bad days too. Two things. One of them is when I was fighting chronic Lyme disease, I went to the grocery store. This was before I was diagnosed with it. I had gone to the grocery store to do some shopping, and I ended up passing out, blacking out, and I fell in the grocery store and the cart went flying, and when I came to, there was a bunch of people around me. I didn't know what happened. I didn't even know how I got to the grocery store. It was humiliating and very scary. Like, I didn't know what was going on. So, and I have those incidents, not as much as I used to, but I still have them. But that was one of my very first incidents, and it happened in the grocery store, so that's the reason why I still haven't returned to a grocery store yet. They're really, really hard for me. And it's such a normal place, you know? That's somewhere that people go to at least on a weekly basis. And then here's me like, oh, I haven't been to a grocery store in 2 years. And before that, it was like 4 or 5. It's embarrassing, and it's hard to admit that to people. But at the same time, I openly say it because, you know, want people and myself to realize not to take these little things for granted, because when you can't do them, it's really fucking hard. Like, really hard. Not just physically, but mentally, emotionally. Like, it's not right, you know? I was always one of those people too that was like, oh, I don't want to be a normal person, you know? I don't want to be a normie. That's what I call them. And I'm not normal. I'm very different, little weird, random, but that's me. That's what makes me different and special. But at the same time, I crave normalcy so fucking bad because my life is just not what a 41-year-old mother of 4, nana of 3, divorcee, you know, should look like. It's just not. Like, I often don't even feel like an adult. I feel like a child who's stuck in an adult's body, you know, that's aging very quickly, mind you. That's a whole nother story. Can't talk about that right now. The other reason I became an agoraphobic, the other main reason, there's lots of reasons, but the two main ones is that incident that happened at the grocery store and those continued incidents that would happen. But also, in 2020, I believe it was, I was diagnosed with Asperger's. And so I'm on the spectrum. They don't even really call it Asperger's anymore. They just say, oh, you're autistic, you're on the spectrum. I'm high functioning, but I struggle really, really bad with overload of the senses, sensory overload. And if the temperature is off a couple of degrees, or it's too bright, or it's too loud, or there's too many people, or I can smell chemicals, or things like that, all of these things get to me. And obviously in public, I cannot control those things. They're just there, you know? But it gets so bad that it makes me wig out and I have to leave. I can't, you know, I'll have a meltdown. So those are the two things that caused me to be agoraphobic. I also was sick a lot and would have all these spells. Either I would tick, like Tourette tick, not just verbal but body. I have a lot of body ticks, the jerks, movements, spasms, twitching, facial drooping from whatever the hell it's called. I get it all the time. I can't think of it. I have brain fog really bad today. Probably wasn't the best day to do a video, but I'm having a really hard time today and I'm super emotional. And as much as I love helping all of you to be able to relate and know that you're not alone, this is good for me too. It's very therapeutic just to talk to anybody about it, anybody who will listen. So yeah, taking things for granted. There's a lot of people all around me that, you know, smoke, drink, addicted to alcohol and drugs, and just really hard on their bodies and all this stuff. And it's their own life. They can do whatever they want to. I don't try to change that. But it's hard for somebody like me. I have trouble even taking Tylenol. Or any medication for that matter. My body is so sensitive and picky about everything. I'm even like half-assed allergic to the sun. I go into the sun and I get hives, rashes everywhere. I get brain fog. My body starts losing control. It's unreal. And like the doctors keep telling me, oh, you need sunshine. Your vitamin D count is really, really low. And I'm just like, okay, how the fuck do I do this? Because the sun hates me. I'm more of a moon person, you know, I'm a night person. But anyway, it's really hard to navigate through all this shit. Like, my body just isn't, you know. Just recently, I was diagnosed with an adult eating disorder called ARFID. It's avoidant restrictive food intake disorder. Now, it has nothing to do with like anorexia or bulimia or anything like that. I'm not scared to eat food because I'm worried about my weight or my body image. It's nothing like that. It's I'm scared of having adverse reactions to the things I eat, or I'm scared of choking on it. I do have a little bit of issues swallowing sometimes. At times, it's just so random too. Like, I'll be doing good, then all of a sudden I'm eating and then I'm choking. It's it's really scary. It makes it very scary to eat. Obviously, I eat. I've gained quite a bit of weight. I like food. It's a comfort thing for me, which is not a good thing. But I've taken so many foods that I once loved or ate my entire life, I have pulled them out of my palate, and I'm just stuck with this small plate of things that are my safe foods that I'll eat, and it's causing me to be very, like, extra not healthy. Like, I'm not getting my vitamins and nutrients in. I'm malnourished. I had lab work, and yeah, like, everything's off, all my levels. So the things that I do count as safe foods are shit that, you know, nobody should eat very often at all, because it's literally fucking poison, like ramen or mac and cheese or chips or that kind of stuff. It's really, really hard because I don't want to starve to death, but at the same time, like, I'm allergic to so much, and I'm scared to try new things, and it's a very, very, very sheltered, complex, boring, but yet busy life, being chronically ill. Not with just physical symptoms, but mental illness too. As a teenager and stuff, before I had the physical illness, I did struggle with mental health issues, even as a kid or as a teenager. I had, you know, bouts of depression. I had anxiety and panic disorder. I had a little bit of OCD, you know. Those are the main ones, so I feel like almost everybody deals with that stuff in their life at some point. I'd say at least 8 out of 10 people have it, you know. But obviously the being physically ill for so long and having my life just flip-flop the way that it did, because I was fine. I had a diagnosis of fibromyalgia when I was 22, I believe. That was my only diagnosis. I mean, and it was a rough one. Don't get me wrong. Fibromyalgia sucks. It's really fucking painful, and if you have it, you know, it's very painful. But that was my only diagnosis, and then I just kept getting more and more and more, and my mental health went to shit even more too. I developed, you know, agoraphobia, and my panic disorder got worse. I started having multiple panic attacks every single day, which is no way to live. It is really hard to deal with anything. You can't work, you can't drive, you can't have a social life. It's very, very, very lonely. And that's one of the things I struggle with the most out of all of it. It's very lonely. And it's so weird that I would feel alone, because I know tons of other people are going through some of the same things that I'm going through. But it's not like we all, you know, see each other or you know, hang out, or I don't know. It's just, I guess I've always been one of those girls who could be standing in a crowded room and I still feel all alone. I'm still very, very lonely, and maybe that's part of my mental health. I don't know. That could be something with it. Like I said, things have just been extra hard lately. I do still have hope that something's gonna change. I have a GoFundMe going right now, which, don't get me started, it's really, really hard to not be able to work fully like I want to. I do work a little bit, but I am disabled, and I can't work a 9 to 5 every single day. You know, I'm not reliable. I have no idea when I'm gonna have flare-ups or be very symptomatic to the point where I am disabled and out of commission. So it's hard to work a job. I would do anything to have my career back, which was a musician and a photographer. Granted, I still try to do those things when I can, but they're no longer my career. They're more of a side hobby. You know, being chronically ill is actually my full-time job. And you know what? The pay sucks. It doesn't pay worth a shit. where was I going with this? My GoFundMe. Okay, so I'm trying to get accepted into an FND, functional neurological disorder treatment center, so that I can get stabilized, because I've been my body's been going haywire now for about 10-11 weeks, I think it is. It's a flare-up. And I live in North Dakota, and there's not a whole lot of help here for FND patients. And so I'm trying to raise money to go out of state to an FND center so that they can stabilize me and then get me the help that I need, and possibly find me resources closer to home. And it's been so hard, because you put out a GoFundMe, and nothing against people who have like cancer or something tragic happen or anything like that. My heart goes out to those people. I care very much about those people. In fact, I'm broke as shit, but I still donate to those people. But if you have like Lyme disease or a functional neurological disorder, or things that are not as heard of, and there's no like mainstream treatment for them, people don't really donate to that. They, you know, if they see somebody has cancer, or you were in a tragic accident or things like that, those are the GoFundMes that do really, really well. And that's great. But us people who are, you know, slowly dying from Lyme disease and FND and other invisible diseases, we need help and deserve help just as much as somebody with cancer. You know, we're just as sick. We might be dying at a slower pace, but we're just as sick. It's a FND is literally, it's a neurological disorder, but it is a full body disorder. The same with Lyme disease. Lyme disease almost killed me multiple times. And it's very comparable to something systemic like AIDS or cancer or anything like that. It's literally fucks with your whole body, your every system in the body. So anyways, trying to basically beg people for money, like, hey, if you have a few bucks, you can donate to help me get to this treatment center out of state, because, you know, my insurance will cover a good portion of it when I get there, but they don't cover travel, and they don't cover lodging, and they don't cover lost wages when you do have to stay somewhere. So it's a lot of money that you're just supposed to pull out of your ass, and it's like, I don't think people understand that if you don't raise the money, you don't get to go. For certain people, like in my situation, that's kind of how it is. If I don't come up with the $3,000 or $4,000, I don't get to go until I come up with it. And it doesn't seem like a lot of money, but when you're on disability, you can't work, you have nothing for collateral, you can't take out a loan, you don't come from a rich family, and you don't have many friends, it is really hard to come by that money. It might as well be $10,000 or, you know, $50,000, because it's all the same. It's hard to raise that money. I've had some really, really sweet people donate, and these people have been my friends forever and ever. There's even been some strangers that have donated, and I am so grateful for every single one of them. It always warms my heart to know that people, you know, see your story, and they hear you, and they validate you, and they want to help any way they can, even if it's a donation of 10 or 20 bucks. Which is feasible. I mean, I'm broke as hell, and even I'm able to donate 20 bucks to somebody's GoFundMe, or, you know, have a bake sale for them, or do whatever. I like to help however I can, because I know what it's like to need help and not really get it. So I'm one of those. Yeah. So my main point for this video was to make sure not to take anything for granted. Don't take those outings, you know, for granted. Going to the grocery store, or running your kids somewhere, or going on a date, going to the movie theater, going swimming, going to concerts, all those things, you know, they're fun. I would do anything just to hop in my own vehicle and turn up the tunes, excuse me, and go for a cruise. Cruise down to where my daughter lives, about an hour and 15 minutes away, cruise down there and just for a visit, you know, not have to wait for someone to want to drive me. I was able to vent, so I feel a little bit better, but yeah, it's been really, really hard lately. Everything's just been weighing on me super, super heavy. And I know that you know what I'm talking about, because any of us going through disability or chronic illness, this is our life. This is literally how it is. It's really hard to deal with. It's not for the faint of heart, and it's not for the weak. Even though we feel weak and not, you know, don't have strength and stuff like that, we are so strong to be just dealing with this every day. Well, this is almost a 30-minute video, so I'm gonna wrap it up. I am sorry for sniffling and half-ass bawling through the whole thing. Sometimes it's good to just get it out, just to vent. You feel better afterwards, you feel stronger. So I advise you to do that too. I will see you guys in about a week, hopefully with another video, and I hope you all are doing the best that you can be doing. And yeah, hang tight while we fight, right? Put your dukes up, put your muscles up. There's not a lot there, but I have been, you know, lifting my little dumbbells. I'm at a 4-pound weight now. Started with a 1, I'm up to a 4, so I'm super proud of that. Anyways, I love you guys. Have a beautiful rest of your week and weekend, and I'll see you next week. Bye.